overall, how'd you feel out there for your bullpen today, and what do you take away from it?
Yeah, I felt really good. It was a well-executed pen overall, pretty good. So just another good day in the bag.
How would you describe the rehab process for you so far, and where exactly do you feel like you're at right now?
Yeah, it's been long and tedious, like most people's experiences. As we get closer to the end, things start to gain a little momentum. Overall, the rehab process has been really good in terms of executing and staying present from day to day.
You speak about the end. Aaron Boone mentioned the other day that you could potentially get in some spring training games here and throw a couple innings. Do you view that as a realistic thing that can happen here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll have discussions about that over the next few weeks.
Gary.
You mentioned this being a long, tedious process. Just what's been the most difficult part of it for you?
Just not being able to compete, not being able to play.
Nothing particularly challenging from a mental standpoint, physical standpoint?
Well, missing playing. Some silver linings. You get more family time, but I just miss playing. Yeah, I miss that outlet of working hard and feeling exhausted every 5 days.
Brian and Chris.
What do you think this layoff has taught you about yourself?
It's a good question. I think it's kind of reaffirmed some. It's kind of reaffirmed some of my core values. How I go about my work. The work during this rehab process is different than what I typically would be doing when healthy. Yet I've attacked the process the same way as I attack the regular work, and so that has produced good results. So it just gives me confidence that I go about my business the right way.
And when you were throwing, it looked like you were putting your hands over your head. Is that something you might carry into the season?
Yeah.
Why?
Feels good.
Randy, go ahead.
Garrett, the first year back from your surgery, a lot of guys, it takes them a full year. Some guys come back right away. Do you have a feel for how you are now, if you can be the same guy right away? Have you talked to guys about that who have struggled in their first year back and guys that have had success? And what's your thoughts on this first year back and how good you can be right away?
I'm a confident guy. I have, high expectations for my execution, internally, but overall, in terms of performance and expectations, I don't really have any set goals or numbers or things like that. It's been working really well to just stay day to day and execute the task at hand. So I think the challenge is to continue to do that as things become more exciting and as things start to get rolling more and more. Just continue to trust what has got you here, and not get ahead of that.
Chris.
I know some pitchers who've undergone Tommy John have talked about using that time off to perhaps tinker with mechanics or strategy of attacking hitters. What have you done with that process over the past year when it comes to mechanics or possible pitch changes and all that?
Not much. Just I guess have more opportunities to lift. I mean, I've been lifting and training hard, even before I was able to throw. So I feel good about that and some of the gains that I've made, especially at my age. Being able to progress in areas in the weight room is good, both in overall power, form, and function. And otherwise, you might not have time to do while you're in the cycle of recovering from pitching and recovering from a season and preparing for the next season. So I've definitely had more time to do that, and I've made some good gains in that area. But as far as mechanics or anything, I mean, I've always liked my mechanics. I think they're rather sustainable, regardless of this last injury. They got me 2,000 innings up here, so. I'm trusting what I have done before and working to replicate that level of excellence.
Going back to Brian's question about the wind-up change, you've had a similar windup basically for a long, long time now. What made you change to go to an overhand windup?
Just felt good. I don't know. I just throwing, on the backfields during the summer and tried it out. I've had little idiosyncrasies that have changed over the years, from still hands to a drop, or hands off of the body, close to the body. I think I generally just like the rhythm of it.
Brendan and Eric.
Have you leaned on anybody in particular when it comes to learning about Tommy John rehab, or just this whole experience, asking questions?
Especially early, I received a lot of advice from a lot of my friends, and I leaned on my teammates quite a bit, from the mental aspect of just being disappointed and not being able to compete. But most of the advice that I had gotten from people that have known me well is just to continue to trust what I know that I do well, because the way I go about my business before I had surgery is the way you should go about your business while you're going through this rehab, and then back again when you're competing. So nothing really groundbreaking, and like I said, I leaned a lot on the people in the clubhouse and in the training room.
Eric.
Gerrit, how would you evaluate the organizational starting pitching depth that you guys have?
I generally like it. We have good quality depth and good quality arms.
Bob, back left.
Gerrit, you were mentioning the 2,000 innings in that arm, but with this surgery, does it feel like you have a new elbow? I mean, does it feel like the clock has been rolled back?
It feels really good. It feels really good. It feels different than it has been in quite some time. So, in that regard, yes. But feel is subjective, so we'll have to see how it plays out.
I mean, conceivably, with a new arm, and like you said, better than it's felt in a long time, did you may come out of this throwing harder?
We'll see, Bob.
Greg, to the right.
When you're throwing those bullpens, do you find yourself kind of peaking at the velocity at all, or can you feel that?
Certainly. I mean, it's a major factor, trying to load the new tissue strategically. So there are markers that we want to hit in terms of on any given day, and then in terms of the week and the progression. So while maybe in the past it's not been quite a focus, it's part of the job at this point to make sure that you're making incremental steps in the right direction, and how quickly you're moving. You're not going too slow or you're not going too fast.
Do you find yourself having to rein it in at all at this point?
I just kind of am doing exactly what I've been told. So when I'm told to push, I push. When I'm told not to, I don't. And I really haven't deviated hardly at all from our targets.
One or two more, if there are any. Back to Brendan on the left.
So you talked about the possibility of pitching a little bit at the end of spring. The Yankees have repeatedly said, June maybe for you. Are you thinking June?
Yeah, I mean, when we've had a lot of discussions between myself and the Yankees and Dr. Elatrosh, and it's always been with a full Tommy John reconstruction surgery. The target's always between 14 and 18 months, so that really hasn't changed. And that's what the research says. That's what the comps that we've looked back at says, and that's where it's always been.